there. So today we're going to be looking at Learning Unit 1, Theme 2, Language Skills. This is really important because everything we do in English, everything we teach, everything we assess, we are actually teaching and assessing language skills. So we're not really teaching or assessing poetry. What we are doing is we are assessing the learner's reading and writing skills. So there are 4 couples of language skills. The first couple is listening and speaking. Then we have reading and viewing, then writing and presenting, and then language structures and conventions. Now, as I say, everything that we do in order to develop these skills. I want you to take a moment and I want you to consider the following: the relationship between reading, writing, and the self. Now, what we're looking at here is how do reading and how does reading and writing affect ourselves? What effect does it have on us as people? I also want you to consider the importance of the competence as a writer, a speaker, a reader, a viewer, and a presenter. In other words, why are these skills so important? What are we going to learn? When are we going to use them? And then the importance of different approaches to teaching these skills, which we'll go into in more detail when we do multimodality. Then I want you to consider, why do we focus so much on reading and writing skills? And finally, I want you to really consider the impact of diversity on teaching and learning the language skills. Before we get into the language skills, I want to go over phonetics and phonology. So this is a part of speaking. It relates to the production, reception, and comprehension of speech. In other words, phonetics and phonology are related to the way we speak and the way we understand speech. Now, phonetics is the biological production of speech sounds. So how we pronounce our words. If someone, for example, speaks with an accent, it might be because their tongue presses forward against their teeth when they make certain sounds, or their tongue presses against the roof of their mouth. So we're looking at that sort of biology of what goes into making a sound. So this is the sort of thing we look at when a learner is mispronouncing a word, but we're looking at, is it because the learner does not know how to say the word? Or is it because the learner is struggling to physically say the word? Then we have phonology, and this is the study of sounds and how we recognize and interpret them. In other words, this is very closely linked to listening. So why is it important to understand these 2 concepts? Because these are concepts that are going to become very important when you are teaching listening and speaking. You need to understand where the disconnect is coming in, if there is a disconnect. If a learner is struggling, is it because of phonetics? So are they physically struggling with the words? Or is it because of phonology, which means they are struggling with understanding the words?